Big Balls Bob. Not to be confused with Tiny Balls Todd.
I do have a body. It's very fantastic. More of a temple, really, than a body.
I can't tell if he's doing a bit or not.
I'm glad you brought that point up because
Todd's a pussy.
It's right next to Todd's OnlyFans.
It's on the internet.
Yeah, Todd's not dumb. I tried to get in a high honors English class once, and they called my parents and were like, hey, just tell him he can't do it. It shows. It really shows. I'm a dumbass, and I'm sorry.
The first time you've been let out of mom's basement, right?
Oh, no, I'm still in mom's basement, actually.
I hate you guys so much.
I'm going to throw these two guys into the screen so that if I die, they can carry on the legacy of crap that is this show. Welcome in, Green Bay Packer fans. It is another season of Lombardi's Bar kicking off with you tonight. Season 3. Who would have ever thought that we would get to this point? God knows none of us here at Game On Wisconsin ever thought that we would be in Season 3 of Lombardi's Bar. But the Packers are back in training camp, and that means that we are back. We are back to talk about everything and anything Green Bay Packers football for the next, 25, 26 weeks, half of a year. Probably get cut short when we get knocked out of the divisional round of the playoffs again. But it's going to be a really crazy, fun ride up until that point. Thank you for joining us. Let's bring in my two guys. I want to just jump in and get these guys in here right away to talk about the offseason. We haven't talked face-to-face for probably 2 months. I think it might have been our trip down to Cincinnati, guys. Right, Todd, Jimmy? I think Cincinnati was the last time we have actually spoken in any real, face-to-face camera, in-person capacity.
Yeah, I think we did a show just after that, kind of recapping the trip. But other than that, no. Fortunately, I haven't had to deal with Jimmy for about a month now, other than just the usual him calling and texting me nonstop.
You're welcome.
But Dan, I've definitely missed you. I feel like you're all busy and stuff, so I feel like you disappeared. I'm glad to see you're still with us, man.
Yes, I basically have disappeared into the black hole of fatherhood. And as I mentioned to you guys before, we also decided to renovate a 100-plus-year-old house at the same time. So literally all of my free time has been devoted to raising a human being and raising a house, I guess, at the same time. So.
Yeah, I can't think of anything better to do with the little bit of free time you probably have while raising a less than 1-year-old than to go ahead and start remodeling a house. I mean, it just seems it's two very low stress activities.
Who doesn't love getting done with work and then going and sanding a whole bunch of old baseboard trim and redoing 2 stories of old flooring and any of that? Who doesn't love that in their life?
I'm feeling just so good about my life choices at this point in time, guys. Can't thank you enough.
No, you got to take my approach to these things and just not be handy in any sense of the word, and you don't have to ever do any home renovations.
Feel that.
Think about it.
That
29,
be the
never
only
fixed
good
anything.
Advice Jimmy has ever given, ever.
Yeah, all I deal with is 2 children. One that is sick right now. And hey, I have to say this. It is my son's first birthday, so happy birthday,
sons?
Winston. Sorry, Todd's son's the kid I raised. First birthday, so happy birthday, Winston. You are 1 year old. Congratulations. Downhill from here. Green screen again.
Oh, no.
There it goes. Yep.
Yep.
Yep. That right there is a fantastic metaphor for getting out of this rental house that we're in. Couple more weeks, I can actually get to this studio basically that I'm building, and it'll look sick, it'll look dope, and it won't look it's the the 8th grade announcements that at the local high school or whatever.
Didn't you get kicked off your announcements because you did Tropic Thunder quote?
No, that was in college. And that was a radio show I was doing.
Oh, okay. They all stories blend together. I was thinking of Boy Meets World.
Four people that missed it. I got kicked off of my radio show in college because I said that the Packers beating the Lions was like pistol whipping a blind kid, which is a line from Tropic Thunder. It's not my actual thought or line. It was quoting the movie, but it was not well accepted by upper management.
That's like the most tame line you could have done from that movie.
I know. There literally are maybe 20 lines out of that I could have done that would have gotten us in so much more trouble.
Oh, for
Anyway,
sure.
guys, how has your offseason been since we last spoke? Since we last spoke was the draft, basically. So from the draft up until now, like that is the literal dead period. There is no football. There is nothing going on. How did you manage? What did you do?
I am happy to say season 3 is not coming from my mother's house. I finally moved out and have my own place. So I am, as you can tell from Dan's green screen, I'm not in a bar either. I actually, when I moved into this place, found out that I don't need this giant master closet for my clothes. So I have a studio set up in here. Which
I was gonna say the lighting and everything else in there looks super professional.
Yeah,
it really does.
It's done by me, so obviously.
You're such a douche.
But yeah, besides that, took a couple of trips. Just got back from 2 weeks out west. Hung out in Montana for a while. If anybody out there is thinking about planning a trip to Glacier National Park, don't go. I don't want to see you there on my return trips. There was already enough people there. Just everyone else.
Did you like it though? Because it
was amazing. It was absolutely
this past
incredible.
weekend. I was talking to somebody that had like went out and did a trip in Glacier Park, and their whole takeaway was that there are so many bears.
I did see 2. One was far enough away that I was like, I feel safe at this distance, standing here watching that bear. The other one ran across in front of my vehicle. Which again, I felt safe because I was in a vehicle. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of bears there.
My sister's actually, she's taking like a 2-week trip to Glacier National Park and just camping around different spots right now. So just Mr. Todd couldn't impregnate another person.
For some reason, I thought Jimmy was about to say something like your sister was planning on like taking some bear self-defense class or something. I don't know why I thought that you were going that way.
She should.
Not me texting your sister right now to see where she's at and what the plan is. So I'll meet up with
her. But Dan, to answer your question, I've had a very eventful. For 3 months, I moved to Georgia, and now I'm moving back to Wisconsin in like 2 weeks. So right now, I'm in the gazebo in our new house up north, and then next time I do the show, I'll be back in Georgia for 2 weeks while I pack up, and then back up in Wisconsin. But I'll have a little studio with all my memorabilia. But right now, I'm rocking it in a gazebo in the middle of the woods.
Matt, you're a goddamn genius.
Bear Kwando.
I was trying to think of some funny like move to go with Bear Kwando, but I came up with absolutely nothing. How do you move all that? How are you moving that stuff?
Jimmy's smart. He's summered in Georgia.
Yep.
You know, like
a lot of people winter, and I say, hey, no.
Yeah, no,
I want the best of the heat.
Let me stick it out in Wisconsin for the winter.
Yep.
Then I'm going to go to Georgia for the nice, hot, humid summer.
Correct.
And then I'm going to come back to Wisconsin for the winter.
That
bing, bang, boom right
sense.
there.
You got this shit figured out, Jimmy. You know how to just really announce that you're a moron.
Hey, I made money off the house. That's all I can ask for. Dan, I'll buy you a cool jersey. Todd, you can go eat shit. I'm not buying you anything, but
good. I don't want your charity.
Oh, I didn't know how. What am I getting a jersey for?
One of the like Jordy Nelson ones I'll find at Goodwill, but don't get too excited.
Oh, okay. Hey, I won't look a jersey gift horse in the mouth. highlight of my offseason.
Oh, yeah, Dan, tell us about your offseason. We're super into it.
Probably has to be this past weekend. At
the
Lambeau
soccer game.
Field, Bayern Munich, Manchester City, and
we're not going to sit here and let Dan talk soccer on the show. It's not going to happen.
Also,
Dan went to a soccer game at Lambeau. He had a good time. That's all you need to know about it.
But let's also address, he was the one fan cheering the cop that pushed AJ Dillon. He clapped and said, hey, that's a hard job.
Yeah, Dan, he's a Blue Lives Matter kind of guy. Back to blue.
He literally, I saw him tweet it, said, hey, cop, good job.
Fuck you, Jimmy.
Oh, we haven't pointed out that Jimmy is rocking a crop top yet.
Right there, baby.
Which they're
waiting for the first.
I feel like there had to have been bets on whether or not that was happening. The safe money was on yes.
Yeah. You have to. For the first episode, you have to do it.
Okay, but no, for real. Give me just 2 seconds. Super cool to see the two arguably biggest soccer teams in the world playing at Lambeau Field, seeing Lambeau Field filled to capacity for an event like this, even after 2 rain delays, was something that was absolutely awesome to see. And I really hope that there's going to be more. Right now, that game at Lambeau.
Okay, that's you went on long enough.
One factoid. It's the highest attended soccer game this entire year so far in North America. An exhibition game at Lambeau.
Yeah, that's
there's been 6 soccer games this year.
That's how much. This is
North America.
No
one gives a shit about it. They haven't had any soccer games in Canada yet because they still have 8 feet of snow on the ground.
Summer soccer games in Canada.
No, they don't have their 2 weeks of summer until.
And they did a boycott for a little bit.
It hits next week, so there's that. Mexico, it's summertime there. I'm thinking they're just playing baseball right now. So.
Are you telling me the Milwaukee Wave did not have the highest attendance? Because that's unacceptable.
Is that a soccer team as well?
Yeah, I see it when I go to the Bucks games. It's a big sign that says Milwaukee Wave, and every time I think that's a waste of money.
Awesome.
Anyway, I had fun.
Let's get into
78,000 other people had fun. Let's get into the show. Let's buy around. Let's buy around, boys. Who are you buying around for? The very first round purchased in season 3. Todd, we'll start with you.
Aaron Rodgers, hands down. Just the look showing up to camp yesterday. If that didn't say, I'm here to win another MVP and get knocked out in the playoffs, I don't know what does. I just, it's fantastic. I love that he's just having fun with it. And you like to see that from him. And then his comment today about going from a Hall of Famer to a Hall of Famer, from Devontae to Alan Lazard, just, keeping the joke going with Devontae. Because again, like cousin Devontae, he can't just come out and say Derek Carr is incredibly worse than Aaron Rodgers. That's his quarterback.
And his best friend.
Yeah, he's not going to say anything to diminish his talent level or what he thinks of him, whether he believes it or not. There's nobody in the world that is going to say Derek Carr is a Hall of Famer at this point. He's still got a few years left in his career.
I don't know, man. Go look at Raiders Twitter has somehow found its way into my algorithm, and some of those people are.
Dude, give the Packers 4 years, and you'll have people saying how Jordan Love is a Hall of Famer. Like, it's just the fandom. People, like, every team thinks their quarterback, if they're playing remotely well, is a Hall of Famer.
That's true, because the Bears and Justin Fields, I mean, give that guy a fucking jacket right now. He's in. I can't believe some of the shit that they're going on about, which what they fail to realize is that they've got like 6 retired janitors playing offensive line. No disrespect to janitors. Lots of disrespect to the Bears fans.
Yes. Yes. Shout out to all the janitors of the world. We stand in solidarity with you.
Absolutely.
Jimmy, who are you buying around for?
I'm going with Tamika. I don't know her last name, but she was the Packer fan as Aaron Jones was on his way to practice. Gave him a big hug, was freaking out, got him to sign her arm, and said, I'm going to the tattoo shop right now to get it done. And sure enough, went to the tattoo shop, got Aaron Jones, his signature on her forearm, tattooed, and just was freaking out. She had like the Aaron Jones retro jersey, big cheese head. So I'm buying around for her. She got his signature. She tattooed it.
I need to see this. Like, was this on like social media?
Yeah. I'll share. I'll put it in the chat right now.
I need to.
Let me ask you this: do you think her partner, that's the fifth Mattis, her partner's ever been with her because she got guy's name tattooed on her body?
First of all, I said third Maddest, and I guarantee if I had Aaron Jones side my arm opposed to Todd Varney, Dez would have a much different reaction.
I don't think she would, honestly.
That's a fair point, honestly. But yeah, no, she. I'm putting it in the chat right now. But she.
That's legit.
Yeah, she got his signature tattoo.
We're on. Okay, I need to open this.
Yeah, no, Aaron Jones retweeted and everything. He sure shit right by
because the
which is painful.
Shout out to Matt for keeping us PC. We appreciate that, Matt. Like I said, I wasn't trying to disrespect anybody, but I think he's right. They do prefer custodian.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. The placement and like it's not like crazy. Like it looks just the style of it looks really cool. Shout out to whoever did that too, because I can't imagine that that's the easiest thing, right?
So then my question to you, Dan, because I already know Todd's answers. J.K. Scott, who would you get tattooed if they signed you?
That's a good question. I guess maybe AJ Dillon would be the one on the team right now that I would do it for. Here's the thing. I can't do it on I can't do an arm tattoo. I feel like I don't have the arms to do an arm tattoo.
Ooh, wow.
That is so cool.
That's cool.
That is so cool. Yeah, I'd do AJ Dillon.
All right, Todd, besides J.K. Scott, who you getting?
I think the list is shorter of who I wouldn't get. Like, I mean,
yeah.
I've got to get a bowl of mashed potatoes tattooed on me here. Barring tragedy. Look, I'm not pulling for tragedy.
Are you saying
guys.
If Isaac Yadam came and signed your arm, you would go get it? No questions asked?
No.
All right, Ty Summers.
No.
Dean Lowry.
No. There's 90 guys on the team. I'm going to tell you there's more than 45 guys on the team.
There's a lot of no's coming in.
Juwan Winfrey.
Yeah, because he's scratching the bottom of the barrel with guys he knows I'm not going to get.
Juwan Winfrey. He's probably on the team. Here.
If Juwan Winfrey makes the team, potentially.
All right, so anyone on the 53-man roster.
Are you saying if Juwan Winfrey makes the roster right now, you will go get his name tattooed on you?
No. No. He has to autograph my person first.
Here's a good one.
Kevin, you did say he was a Pro Bowler.
2022 Pro Bowler, Kevin King.
I'd love to have Todd get that picture tattooed, the one that we've thrown up there so many times.
His whole King back is just
Supermaning. Yes, yeah, that's what I want.
Jumping over Kevin King.
This one,
it needs to be, but you need to go like super like full tattoo. Like, you know how people like will take famous pictures and put like Jesus in it or something. You need to have like Jesus like jumping over Kevin King and like
ascending right over him.
Yeah, just like
avoiding
sin.
Yeah, we're not gonna do that.
I might do that now. My buy around is short because I kind of already touched on it. Mark Murphy doing a hell of a job. Realized that he was going to have to make up for that lost revenue for the Packer game going over to London this year, and so was able to convince two of the biggest football teams in the world to come play a game at Lambeau and make up all of that game revenue. So kudos, Mark Murphy, for doing that. And not only that, but doing it in a way where you don't have to revenue split that with the rest of the league. So the team is getting more money from that than they would have if they had the regular home games. So kudos, Mark Murphy. Happy retirement in, what was it, like next year or 2 years from now?
It's like 4 years from now.
Oh, okay.
My favorite thing with Mark Murphy is when he was like, hey, I know you guys want more noon games, but let's be honest.
Yeah,
if we have more noon games, it means we're a shitty team.
Good call.
And when I read that, I was like, dude, Mark Murphy, you don't give a fuck now that you're going to retire.
Now that he knows, man, he is.
Yeah.
He's
like, oh, they're not going to change this rule for me? Yeah, fuck it.
I'm going to take this and run with it.
Yeah, keep going.
Pay the tab. Because it kind of transitions into it, because Ticketmaster told everybody single game tickets for the Packers Giants game at Tottenham Spur Stadium go on sale they said don't go into the queue until 4:30 a.m. Eastern time. Get into the queue at 4:30 a.m. 180,000 people in the queue ahead of me. And pretty much by the time you got to about 6 a.m. Eastern time, the tickets were gone. There were no more tickets. It's very clear that Ticketmaster either at the very best case scenario were completely incompetent in releasing these tickets. Worst case scenario, they were willfully negligent in their responsibility and did this on purpose as a way to, I don't know, increase ticket sale for resale on the site or whatever.
So
it's a fuck up either way.
Here's the thing with Ticketmaster is, one, they own other resale sites. And so they do have bots that go in and buy up tons of those just so they can flip them onto their secondary resale markets at a higher value. So that's a lot of what Ticketmaster did. It has nothing to do with being incompetent or just not realizing what was going on. They knew exactly what was going on, and what was going on was they were making more money. So
it goes the way to the top.
The good news, Dan, is you're just going to have to pay more money to go.
I'm not going to pay money. I'm
what
not.
Great
like
news.
Andy Fox on Twitter had a good point. You know, there are so many diehard cheeseheads over in England and the UK and Europe that have been waiting for decades at this point for the Packers to come play a game over across seas. And now it's come, and yeah, like you said, Ticketmaster, with the way that they have stuff set up, they've basically priced out so many fans that have been waiting this long for a chance to see their favorite team come play there. I mean, it's the same as, I hate to go back to this, but I don't get to see City. I would never get to go see City, most likely. And Ticketmaster didn't price me out of the
Thank God.
He's just going to start getting muted every time.
Thank God. Honestly.
Anyway, fuck Ticketmaster.
We're going to put you in a penalty box.
Is that a soccer thing?
Hockey.
It's not a soccer thing. You can give me a yellow card if you want.
I'll give you a fucking red card.
Jimmy, how about you pay the tab? Who needs to pay the tab?
All right. My pay the tab. And I hate to do this because, injuries suck. But as a wide receiver who signed with the Packers as their offseason, we brought in a veteran. Sammy Watkins already started the year on the physically unable to perform list. Or no, he was on the non-football injury list. One of the fucking lists that you can't play.
Right.
Sucks. I think with him getting the contract, and we'll talk about this later, I think he's somewhat of a lock to be on the team, but you're known for not being very dependable. 1, 2, maybe 3 games a year you show up big, and then the other games you're serviceable. After that you're hurt. There's just a weird split. He's not on the field as much as he should be. And then for Sammy Watkins to start on a list of not being able to play just sucks. So hopefully he can come back, earn Aaron Rodgers' trust, because that's a big thing. Rodgers already mentioned that as one of the veterans that he's looking to perform. So that's big because his weird thing with rookies. But I don't know. Hopefully Sammy Watkins can come back, show everyone why the Packers signed him. Maybe be the Devondre Campbell 2.0 this season. Highly doubt it, but at least we can get some. Yeah, at least you can get some contribution from him.
Jimmy, he plays wide receiver. He can't be Devondre Campbell. He plays.
I said 2.0, which means like a different thing.
A different version. Okay.
Yeah.
Just wanted to make sure we knew that. Yeah, you're right. It sucks, and
fuck off, Dan.
It sucks. It sucks because there's really not much Sammy Watkins can do about it.
Mm-mm.
It's injury stuff, and it's unfortunate. But yeah, you're right. When he gets out there, when he gets the chance, really needs to prove himself if he wants to be a part of this team organization.
It just plays into the narrative
movement. Right.
Rarely do I wish that we as a society would take a step back in time technologically. The last 2 days on Packers Twitter has made me want to go back to the days when the only reports you would get were the late night news and the morning newspaper, because Sammy Watkins getting hurt. Clearly he's never going to play this year. Awful. Fire Goody. Julio Jones gets severely overpaid to go to Tampa. Fire Goody, because of course, once again, we're in the conversation, but we're not there. I don't know if you guys saw the tweet from Andrew Brandt.
Well, don't forget to add David Bakhtiari.
Well, yeah, I wasn't sorry. I'm sidebarring here, but the tweet from Andrew Brandt where somebody was talking about how Goody's, always in the conversation, and he said that agents used to ask, hey, can we say the Packers are interested? And he said, yeah, as long as it's helping a rival team pay more, then yeah, I'm in. So sure, Goody's always in the conversation just for the simple fact that, okay, well, here's the offer. So they're going to have to pay more than that. And that's fine by us. Julio's is $6 million up to $8 million with incentives. Like I'm sorry. No.
Yeah.
But also it really hit me today where we're at with Twitter when scrolling through my timeline during practice, like 10 tweets in a row, all from different people, but every single play that happened. Yeah. Just which made me love and hate Twitter all at the same time, because it would have been great. Like, we can live without that information, but it was fantastic to not be at practice today, but know that, like, oh, Juwan Winfrey fucking snagged a deep one. Nice. Jordan Love hit Danny Davis. Okay, great. Like,
there really needs to be like a rule in place. Like when there's high profile court cases, they'll usually say one camera crew is allowed to come in, and that's the camera crew that gets to disseminate all of the usable footage to all the media outlets that want to use it. We need to have one designated Twitter user that's going to go to the games and live tweet what's going out. And that's how we disseminate all this information. Because I agree, Todd, it's like 10, 15 in a row, the same.
By the time you get through them, there's another play.
There's another one. Yeah.
Which, I mean, shout out to everybody that's there, that's getting it out that quick. And I mean, I appreciate it, but it's just, it made me think, like, what was it like back in the mid 90s when you didn't know what happened every single play?
Right.
I just fantastically awful.
Emma said it. Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah.
She's right. Todd, who needs to pay the tab besides Twitter?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the secondary. Obviously, the starting five there are tough. You got Jair, you got Stokes, you got Razul, Amos, and Savage. Behind them, there's not a whole lot that are really going to need to prove themselves. But I think, the secondary today, again, day one overreaction, Juwan Winfrey was solid. Dubs, solid. And that was going against some of those guys. So obviously you've got Aaron Rodgers. They're not going to have to face him every week, but you would like to see a little bit more life out of them going against some of these guys. So I'm sure it's a less physical first day. They're not able to kind of press a little bit and get their hands on them. So that's one thing. But I think another job that the secondary has right now, and it kind of goes with why I'm okay with Sammy Watkins being out for a little bit right now. Even Christian Watson not getting reps at this point, just because of where his talent level is over some of these other guys. And why I'm glad that a guy like Julio's not there is they're not taking reps from Romeo Doubs from Torre, from Winfrey, from these guys to get in that rhythm with Rodgers to see what they can do. I mean, these early reps are highly important to these young guys, and to know that they're the ones out there getting them and getting that time in is going to make them that much better down the stretch here.
Yeah, definitely.
And where the secondary comes into play. Sorry, apparently my Vyvanse has just hit me for the second time today. I'm getting chatty. But you think back to Stokes and Jair both have said in previous seasons how much going against Devontae every single day helped them get better. You think about these young wide receivers. Yeah, iron sharpens iron.
We eventually got it.
Yeah, Mark's battling COVID over there and still gets it.
I was trying to add it to the same time.
Did it like 3 times.
I was wondering what the hell you guys were trying to do there. I could just hear mice clicking back and forth. So, yeah, I mean, having those young guys have to go up against Stokes and Jair and learn some of that stuff, like a lot better than going up against the Bears corners or the Vikings corners. Or do the Lions have cornerbacks this year?
I don't think so. I think they're just putting out like 10 defensive linemen.
Yeah, sounds right.
Yeah.
So do you think that, because Winfrey, we've heard every season, probably the last 3, of how great he's doing in training camp, how great he's doing in the offseason. Do you think he actually has like a spot on the roster or even sees playing time this year?
Because of where I was season 1 with Reggie Begelton, where I was last year with my Kevin King predictions, I'm so low on Juwan Winfrey. I don't think he's going to make the team. I don't know. I'd be surprised if he makes it through the first preseason game, to be honest. That's my official take on Juwan Winfrey, based on being so wrong on other guys that I wanted to be good.
Yeah, there's just too much competition. I don't think it happens. Let's talk about some preseason stuff, some predictions, talking about what we're looking forward to with the preseason camps, training camps, preseason games. Preseason games start, I think the first one's in 2 weeks, week and a half, I think. It's right around the corner, thank God. Let's talk about what we want to what we're most excited for. Biggest question mark and most excited to watch in training camp this week or this year. I'll start. My most excited to watch is this wide receiver group, because everyone's kind of rationalization with Devontae leaving is that, the Packers have been able to handle not having Devontae in a game, and it works. And yeah, that's true. But we need to prove that it can work over a full season. And you need to see guys step up. There is a void at the top of that roster, Tilio. And who's going to step up? Where are all the pieces going to fit? So I'm most excited to watch that. Biggest question mark, we kind of touched on it, has to be David Bakhtiari. We're not gonna bash the guy by any means. No way. But I'm gun shy about trusting any reports now that say the Packers are cautiously optimistic about David Bakhtiari, because they've been cautiously optimistic for 18 months at this point. And when is it going to just be, we are optimistic, So that's my biggest question mark is Bakhtiari.
Week 17, they said we're optimistic he's going to play in week 18. Yeah, he did. That didn't work out well.
Yeah. So Bach, we're praying for you. We're hoping you get better. We want to see you back on this field, healthy, and complete this offensive line. Take care of yourself and everything around it. But just when I come to think of it and I read the reports, I'm pressing the brakes on it a little bit. So, Todd, what about you?
Talking about Bakhtiari, I think I need to have a jersey burning little party here. The last 4 jerseys that I've got Bakhtiari, Za'Darius, Devontae, and MVS. I put myself on a ban from buying jerseys. It's not happening. I'm not going to do it anymore. But I think I just need to burn those to get the juju out. Like put them in a burn barrel with some sage, and just really
We need to do it like real respectively, like a flag burning ceremony. Like we'll fold them up real nice. We'll play the bugle.
I'll shoot off some
just on Bakhtiari's. The other ones we can just throw those in. I think my biggest question mark, Dan, it kind of follows in line with Bakhtiari, but not just him. I mean, we've got some other guys coming off ACL injuries as well. Elton Jenkins, because of how Bakhtiari has progressed or failed to progress, I guess. Seeing Elton Jenkins out there today running a little bit made me, and people being like, all right, he looks good, immediately made me be like, cool, he's out for the season still. Just one of those things. I remember watching videos of Bakhtiari running and people being like, oh, he's ahead of schedule. Great.
Right.
That's not working out.
I feel like we're starting to get that with Tunyon too a little bit.
Yeah, Big Balls Bob.
Big Balls Bob.
Kylan Hill. We've got several guys out there that just, what's that timeline look like for them? So I think that's the biggest question mark is guys coming off of big injuries. Josh Meyer. What's the situation there? How's he going to look? So the good news is there's a lot of depth across that offensive line. I think there's some really good pieces there, even without those guys. So they don't need to rush them back. But damn, they're going to be a hell of a lot better if and when they can rejoin the team.
That's the rule, Dan. Retired or dead. That's what you got to do.
Retired or dead.
Can't hurt you then.
You can buy Bart Starr, Reggie White, and then retired players.
There's a lot more dead players.
Yeah, there's other.
Just those two.
God, just them. Put yourself back on mute. That was great. Most excited to watch. Obviously the wide receivers are going to be good. I think it's going to be a really good battle for the third and fourth spot coming off the edge on defense. We've got Preston, we've got Rashawn, and then a lot of question marks. You've got Tipa, Ramsey is there, Kingsley. So, there's a handful of guys coming off that edge now that could make things real exciting. Jonathan Garvin is another guy. So I think that's going to be a fun matchup throughout camp to watch those guys kind of figure out the pecking order there.
Yeah, that's one I hadn't really thought about, but you're right. The edge group is a spot that we need to focus on this offseason or preseason, whatever it is, training camp. Jimmy,
the one I'm most excited to watch is actually the tight end room. We have obviously Mercedes Lewis is the best blocker we have in that room. Tunyon's coming back from an ACL. Josiah DeGuara is their third round pick, and then Tyler Davis, who multiple coaches praised this offseason, the undrafted free agent. And this today, I know it's only the first day of training camp, so it doesn't really matter.
No, it matters a lot. Overreact. There's actually no such thing as an overreaction today.
Perfect. I will react accordingly. He was with the ones over Josiah DeGuara, starting with Mercedes Lewis. So that's just going to be something interesting to watch, seeing how much they rotate them, who's going to be getting the most of the looks. I have really high hopes for DeGuara, mainly because he's a friend of the show. But I'm excited to see what happens with that. But Tyler Davis honestly could be the next Big Balls Bob of undrafted free agent, comes in, catches the eye of the coaches, and makes a role on the team. So we'll see with that. So I'm excited to see how that plays out. And the one, what is the next one?
Question mark, Jimmy.
Question mark. I think it has to, with Todd, he had on offensive line. And so just looking at depth, I think it has to be cornerback, who's going to be that number 4 behind Rasul, because we're just one.
Kevin King's still out there.
We're one injury away from Jamar Jean Charles, whatever his name is, being our third cornerback. So, or one injury away from Amos and Savage of having Vernon Scott being our starting safety. So, seeing what they do with that.
Kevin King's out there.
Kevin King's out there. He can play every spot. DN, D tackle, safety.
They had him lining up like a linebacker against San Francisco in some packages. So
And they didn't score a single offensive touchdown. So
I'm just going to go on a limb and say Kevin King was a difference maker on that defense.
Yeah, so I'm curious what they do with the depth on that secondary position. If there's going to be a signing, I know they released somebody today, which has to be the most demoralizing thing. You have one training camp practice with the Packers, and they cut you after the first day.
Yeah, that's rough.
So maybe they bring somebody else in.
Subject.
So we'll see, but secondary is definitely a position that I think we need a lot more depth, and I honestly would not be opposed to bringing Kevin King back.
Yeah.
He's available.
He's available.
Probably going to be a Pro Bowler this year.
The best ability is availability. Before we move on, Corey brings up a good one. Just those two rookies out of Georgia. I think that's going to be fun to watch this preseason. And
it kind of goes with Julio's question too. Who's going to be the best?
Who's going to be the best rookie? It's got to be one of those two. Yeah. Just by like probability, it's got to be one of those two. Let's jump into some, I guess we call these predictions for training camp and the preseason. We'll get a surprise make, someone that's a surprise make on the roster, and a surprise cut during the preseason. Todd, why don't you kick us off?
Surprise make for me is going to be David O'Connell. I tweeted it out yesterday.
And who is that? Because I don't recognize that name.
Punter. Yeah,
no,
2022 teams.
The one from the Bears?
I can't believe teams still have punters. It blows my mind.
You said his name wrong, right?
I do not care what his name is, Jimmy.
He's the one punter on the team. Of course he's going to fucking make it.
Yeah, and it's like I said.
I thought his name was Pat.
Yeah, it's like Pat O'Donnell.
Sure, I don't care. It's one of those things that for a league that values every single spot, that you have a guy whose only job is to punt. Like it blows my mind and I hate it. It surprises me that we still have punters in the league. So that's my surprise make at this point.
Who's your surprise cut?
Sammy Watkins. I would love to see him make the team and have a resurgence, like Jimmy was saying, Devondre Campbell 2.0. With these young guys getting time right now, getting these reps, I think it could really stand out that kind of the Devin Funchess signing where they cut him partway through camp 2. If it starts looking like, hey man, you're not going to be here, they could cut him early, let him go try and find a job somewhere else. But I would not be surprised to see him get cut, but I think a lot of people would be.
Especially with how everyone on Twitter, it's day one. I feel like the defense always takes a couple days to get going, but especially when you put actual pads on, it's a lot different. But just the way the wide receivers have been showing out, Dubs making big plays, Winfrey making big plays, Lazard wasn't going to get cut, but just kind of solidifying himself through day one as the number one receiver. It would, like you said, not be incredibly shocking if Sammy Watkins, they did the Devin Funchess route of like, hey, go see if you can make on another team because he won't be here.
Yeah, because that's the thing is this wide receiving room is so wide open. Without Devontae there, they can kind of craft this offense in the wide receiving scope however they want. If they think, a guy like Dobbs or, one of the guys that I will talk about, Osiris Mitchell, any of these guys that they think kind of fits into that role a little bit better. Yeah. Sammy Watkins could easily wash out of it. Yeah. Jimmy, what about you?
My surprise cut, my surprise make, I have two of them. I'm going with the name Ty. So I have Ty Summers and Ty Goodson. For Summers, I think his only role, thank God, will be special teams. I think it's a complete resurgence of this unit. He was one of the leaders, granted on a shitty special teams the last couple of years, but he is one of the players that is kind of a staple of the special teams unit. He's fast. He's athletic. He's big. He can tackle.
I'm big. Back that up. We're going to take that one out of there because I was surprised he's still on the team.
Well, not like big as in like a huge fucking mountain from Game of Thrones running on the field.
That's what big means.
That's when I say big, you think mountain from Game of Thrones.
If you're talking about an NFL player and you say he's big, yeah, I would assume that he's
sorry, let me say this. He's large for
he's
how
an
fast
undersized
he can run down from
linebacker.
The field. For the linebacker,
cannot play linebacker in the NFL.
If you're putting him on special
the fact
teams
that he's still
and his
on this
goal is
team
to run straight
blows my mind.
If he just needs to run straight, he's
not very good at it because he was terrible at it last year.
Motherfucker, there's 10 other people on the special teams.
There's got to be somebody else that can do his job equally as poorly as he did it last year.
Yeah, but do you think we filled in all the other spots? Like, he was not the weakest spot on the team is what I'm saying. I'm not saying he's going to start at linebacker. He's going to be a special teams person.
So we're going to have 6 guys that only play special teams? Because they brought in a bunch of guys that have played for Bisaccia in the past.
I mean, there are just guys on the team that usually only get special teams reps.
But they also can fill in other spots. And Ty Summers has proven over the last 2 or 3 years that inside linebacker.
Not in a starting role, but if you're
he's an absolute liability on defense every time he's on the field.
Yeah, but I'm not talking defense. Literally special teams. That's his role.
That's all he's doing. Are liabilities in their positions. That's why they're on special teams. If you're getting down to starting special teamers in their roles, you got bigger problems.
Right. And a lot of those guys that are there, they're developing. So they're hoping that at some point in the future, they can turn into a more reliable position player. Ty Summers cannot develop into anything else. He's hit his ceiling.
If you get a solid special teams player, that's great.
He's not a solid special teams player.
He
played a lot of snaps on special teams. Yes, I will give you that.
Was he our weakest spot?
I fucking hope not.
Well, that's
I don't know that I look at him and go, hey, bring him on. Keep him
This
on.
segment is literally called surprise makes. It's not a fucking lock to make the team. I'm saying I would not.
It's actually called surprise make, and you pick 2.
Also,
Ty Summers is the first one on his list. So
Ty Goodson, mainly because Kai Hill has his injury coming back from ACL, so I don't know if he'll be ready to make the team. And Patrick Taylor, he's had his chance for a few seasons, was always kind of on practice squad, brought back up. Ty Goodson, I would not be surprised to see him make the team, be that linebacker. You got me talking about that third running back until maybe Kylan Hill is 100%. But I could definitely see Tyler Goodson making the team, as well as Ty Summers, which would be a surprise. He would be a last make of the team, 53 out of 53, but I would not be surprised if he made it.
So it's 4 guys that are only going to play special teams. Got it.
Motherfucker, you need a third running back.
No, we got a long snapper, a kicker, a punter, and Ty Summers. That's 4 guys that are only.
A kicker and a punter aren't on the field at the same time, right? Also,
Jimmy, I'm just saying, there's 4. That's 4 guys on the 53 that are only going to play special teams.
Yeah.
Okay.
I removed myself from the situation. I don't like when mom and dad fight. Okay, Jimmy, what about a surprise cut?
My surprise cut, let me look. I forgot who I put. With TJ Slayton getting the starting role this year, or in day one, obviously we drafted Devontae Wyatt. We also, Jack Heflin came on as a surprise player last year. I would not be surprised if we do eventually cut Dean Lowry just as a money-saving tactic. Did horse steroid Dean Lowry do great last year? He did really well compared to the years past. But with young and up-and-comers, I would not be surprised if they say, hey, let's get rid of the salary. Maybe we can add that secondary depth. Maybe we can add that edge rusher depth and get rid of him. It wouldn't be probably the first choice because, again, he was fine last year, but there's always tough cuts. I always go back to Josh Sitton, who always will surprise me as a cut. TJ Lang was a cut. 2 players that were solid on the offensive line. So a role player like that, I think, is always on the roster bubble.
Yeah, I would agree. I think Dean Lowry more than I think. I think Dean Lowry's a better chance to get cut than Ty Summers. I said it.
Hey, Matt, where did you get that spotted cow? Just curious.
Yeah, Matt. Anyway.
Spoiler alert, it was probably from
it was from us.
The drawing that he won.
My surprise make, I mentioned it before, Osiris Mitchell. I know nothing about the guy. Literally know nothing. All I know is we lost an amazing name and Marquez Valdez-Scantling from this wide receiving room where we need to place that. That's a hole that needs to be filled, and Osiris Mitchell fills that hole. And so I will say Osiris Mitchell. And like I said too, I think you could almost out of these wide receiving.
What holes do you want Osiris Mitchell to fill?
All the holes. The Osiris Mitchell hole. I need him to fill that hole.
Sorry. Once Ty and I both did the little cockeyed look at each other. I knew, like, which one of us?
I just wanted to make sure I was hearing that correctly. Osiris Mitchell is going to fill some of Dan's holes.
Yep. Please fill the hole, Osiris. Please. Anyway, you could pick kind of a random assortment of these wide receivers, and by the end of training camp, they make it. It's wide open at this point. My surprise cut, I said this last year. I stand by it. I think it's time to let go of Mason. Mason Crosby, my surprise cut. RIP. Old Yeller's my dog, Mom. I'll take care of it. They've got this other guy, Gabe Burkick. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
With a beautiful mustache.
Yeah, he's got a great mustache. So give me that. Give me the competition in training camp. And, I know he probably won't, but it would be a cut that for me would be maybe a surprise for some, but that me, I've been served legally.
That is legally binding.
Yeah, binding.
Incredible.
No Dan Snyder in that one. It's right on the screen.
Kelsey, make sure you get custody of my kid. And all of the child support.
Give it to Todd.
We should probably address this. Producer Nick's not with us tonight.
He's not here today.
Had to work.
He has a job or something like that. I don't know. Sounds stupid, but he'll be maybe next week, maybe the week after that. He's still alive, allegedly, and around. So he'll be back at some point, but he is not here tonight, unfortunately, which is why this show is such a train wreck.
Right.
Because we don't have him in the chat telling us to get in line.
Wrap it the F up.
Telling us to not bring in Urban Dictionary words.
Yeah, we're only a third of the way through our list of.
Yeah, we've had to skip already scrap some of these segments.
Let's talk about Brazilian pancakes.
This is gonna be a 7-hour show.
Let's wrap up and run through some bar bets real quick here, guys. We talked about him earlier. David Bakhtiari, does he play week 1, Jimmy?
And these ones don't count for our regular season, correct?
That's how I've interpreted it. Todd?
Yeah, I think that's how we did it last year.
Yeah, the preseason don't count.
Okay. 3 Bakhtiaris, yes. He will play week 1. Not extremely confident in that, obviously. God, I hope so. The big thing that makes me nervous is Goody and Bakhtiari said it's not an ACL injury. It's things they're learning right now, which is like,
yeah, that's
scary. You had 18 months to learn it. How'd you not?
What the heck are you learning?
Yeah, like obviously, I hope he recovers just for his own mental health of being able to play again. But I don't know. I think the way he's talking and the Rodgers is talking, it seems like he'll be back, but I cannot do 5 Bakhtiaris on that.
Todd?
I'm gonna go 5 Bakhtiaris. No, I think they'll have him start the season on the IR, whatever they're calling the short-term one this year.
Yeah.
And then working back in slowly. Again, like I said earlier, I mean, there's a lot of depth up front. I think there's plenty of other guys that they can lean on for a couple of weeks until he's fully ready to go. At this point, I mean, he's missed 18 months. What's a few more games to make sure that he's back out there at 100% and feeling good?
Yeah, I'll go in the hand-holding club with you guys. I'm going to go 4 Bakhtiaris. No, he does not play week 1. If you are discovering things 18 months into it, things are not looking good. Cautiously optimistic or not. Over under on the number of wide receivers that make it through camp and into the initial roster. I have like 6. We'll call it 6.5. So you can either go 6 or 7 there. Todd, real quick, what do you got?
I'm going to take the over. Without Adams, you kind of said it earlier. They can do what they want, bring in as many different body types, as many different skill sets, and just see how they line up, work matchups. I think that's one thing that's really going to play into this offense's benefit this year is you've got one of the smartest quarterbacks to ever play the game, lining up every single play to look at the defense, to send a guy in motion, and to find the matchup that he wants to exploit every single play. They want as many different skill sets and types of players possible to be able to take advantage of whatever they need to.
Jimmy?
I'm going with 5 Bakhtiaris over. I think with Winfrey playing the way he is, Dubs playing the way he is, there's no way they cut Amari Rodgers in his second season. And I do still think Sammy Watkins is going to be a lock on the year with just how much Rodgers wanted him on the team. I think they'll have 7 this year just for even Todd's favorite thing, special teams could be a benefit. We'll see. Who fucking knows, but I say 7.
Yeah, I'll go with you guys too. I'll put 5 up there. They got to go over. I think wide receiver is going to be at a premium this year. I think you just want as many bodies in there to throw at the wall, see what sticks. Last one here, guys, real quick. Let's go around the horn and just say over under number of weeks that this new kicker, Gabe Burkick, is going to be in camp. I've got it at 3 weeks. So through the second preseason game, does he make it through the second preseason game or not? I'll start off. I say 4 Bakhtiaris. Yes, there's your new kicker. Welcome to the Mustache Show. Jimmy.
5 Bakhtiaris. He makes it all 4 weeks. Does not make the final team, though. With Crosby getting his surgery, I think it's just the recovery thing that they brought him on.
Todd?
Can he kick off into the end zone?
Let's assume yes.
5 Bakhtiaris. I'm going to say, what was he over under 3 weeks?
3 weeks.
Makes it through the second preseason game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we have officially kicked off week 3 of Lombardi's Bar. We are back. We are bringing Doug back. Mine's not there. Jimmy, Todd, you can check out their socials right there on their screen. Mine is DK all the way on the Twitter. Make sure you're following the show on Twitter at Lombardi's Bar. Follow Game On Wisconsin on Twitter at Game On WI. And if you have not done so already, if you're watching on Facebook, switch over to YouTube. Make sure you subscribe on the YouTube channel to get notifications every time that we go live. It's a great help for us. We will be back again next week. Same time, same place, right here on Game On Wisconsin and Lombardi's Bar. Until next time, everybody, cheers and go Pack Go.
Go Pack.
Go Pack.